Amber Sibley, welcome to Voices of Elevate.
Hello.
So lovely to have you here.
Thank you very much.
You're Oscar nominated for your makeup artistry, aren't you?
I am.
Which is fabulous. Um, and you're coming to Elevate to put us in the limelight, aren't you? What
Well,
does
yes. I mean, basically, yes, I am Oscar nominated. That's my as a makeup artist, I've been doing that like 35 years or more, I think. And yeah, that really is something that is part of me, that will always be a part of me. But alongside that, for sort of 25 years, I've always done the holistic stuff as well. So I'm very much a sort of not one thing or the other, if you know what I mean. But
Yeah, I do because
essentially, what I've been doing is putting people in the limelight all my life, pretty much. And no, not that implies I'm 36. I'm not. I'm way beyond that. I'm 57. But yeah, I've always sort of done that professionally in all capacities, film and magazines and TV and everything. Prosthetics, body painting, beauty, you name it. I've kind of been there and done it. But the limelight thing for me is a double fold because it's sort of a nod to that and what I have done, but also as a frequency. What's that in front of your camera there?
it's a fly.
I thought you suddenly had a cat just walk in like people do.
I suddenly thought, is something wrong with my screen? And then I waved it and this fly flew away.
That's not a problem.
Taking me out of the limelight. What was going on?
Yes. Yeah, but really, the thing with me about Lyme, I do color therapy and everything as well. So Lyme is the frequency. It's a frequency of renewal and regeneration and fresh start. So it's a sort of a play on words, really.
Mm.
So yes, there's the fly. Why does he like your
Honestly,
camera?
I've had a bit of issue with flies the last couple of days, but the way I'm seeing it is because I'm creating some light at the
Yeah, they're
moment.
drawn to it.
It's almost like the dark forces coming to take it out a little bit. There's something going on, but
Yeah.
I'm just ignoring it. It's not going to
No,
get.
no way. I thought you were blocking me out. I thought you were going,
They're
I'm blocking
chucking
me out.
everything at me, but it's fine.
Yeah. And we don't need to start again. It's fine. It's all
No, no,
authentic.
no. It's
Um,
authentic, isn't it?
yeah, because I mean, light basically, as you know, I mean, we're made of light. So as we're made of light, the beauty of the fact that we are conscious beings is that we can consciously engage with that light because we're all full spectrum all the time. I mean, our cells communicate with light. In fact, I actually met Dr. Fritz Pop donkeys years ago at the what was it called? The Association of Color, no, the Color Association of International something or other, right? This professor guy was the one that discovered biophotons, and so he had photographs of like vegetables and things that are emitting light. Well,
Oh, yes.
we
Yeah.
literally do. We literally shine, and we're
Mm.
all full spectrum all the time. But the only way to really connect with that shine is to have everything in balance and harmony. So that each of the frequencies, it's not that you're ever lacking in any color, but you
Mm.
can be not focusing on some at some points or needing to add a little bit more to create that equilibrium and that harmony. And colors, I describe it like a stick. I normally have my stick to show you, but I don't have it to hand. A color is a stick. So say you've got a yellow stick. uh, One end of this stick is like positive and confident and optimistic and sunny and all that. The other end of the stick is still a yellow stick, is anxiety, worry, fear, all of that. So if you follow my metaphor, if we're using colors, if we're using sticks as colors, then it's just about which end you're focusing on as well. We
Mm.
all have everything within us, and because we're conscious beings, as I say, we have the capacity to use it and to deliberately do things. So what I'm going to do at Elevate is a series of exercises that actually get people to embody light, to really consciously embody light. Little different ones to weave in, which won't tell you too much about yet. But
Yeah, no, it sounds wonderful. And then And but I've just been on your website actually, and you do lots of things, don't you? You're
Kind
not
of,
just
yep.
a, you're not just a one
No, no.
thing.
Well,
Yeah.
essentially, it's all. I mean, I'm an artist, right? I paint people. I paint pictures in people's minds. I do light therapy. I do color readings. I do portraiture. I did one with friend Sandy Hamby the other day, actually, and so I sort of do the hair and makeup because I can kind of do that with my eyes shut,
Mm.
and then get them into alignment and notice the way the light is with them and behind them and everything to really sort of make the most of it. So yeah, I really
Mm.
enjoy doing the portraiture and that spontaneity of sort of going, ooh, not there, here, come over here and let's do that there, and
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
really. But yeah,
And
all sorts like pregnancy body painting. I
I
was
saw
actually
you had
known.
I saw you had belly painting, and I thought, oh,
Yeah,
I
well,
know what
it's
that is.
lovely. It's lovely doing pregnant girls because they're that much more sort of feeling like the goddess is within, but it's not their body. It's almost like not their.
Mm.
It is their body, but they're just that more
It's a
free to sort of,
temporary form, isn't it?
yeah, more
And
free to sort of be exposed, as it were, and to be
yeah,
painted. And so that's a lovely way of doing it.
yeah.
And actually, in Santa Rosa, I was in California. They used to call me the psychic body painter because of what I do is instead of doodling on paper, or some artists will sort of connect with people's spirit and draw their aura, or whatever, from around them, um, and put it onto paper or canvas. I put it directly on the body.
Mm.
There's just I would say it doesn't happen that often. It's not that easy to get people to get their kit off.
Mm.
But when I do, it's brilliant because the feedback that they get from seeing the empowerment that they get from seeing how beautiful their story is,
Mm.
like color in terms of paint is obviously pigment, it's not light, but the way that the paintbrush traces the neural pathways and things, it really on the skin, it really does bring something more to it, to the experience of looking in the mirror and going, "Wow, that's me." That's who I really am. So
Mm.
at Elevate, I'm going to do a non-paint form of that.
Oh, okay.
Doc.
Yeah. I just
like a visualization, basically.
yeah. Well, I love listening to, everybody that's involved in Elevate and offering things. I just really love hearing the journey that got you there. And I love the way that you've come from this kind of industry of, you know, glamour.
Yeah, and
you know,
superficial to a degree,
yeah,
and all of that.
but
Yeah.
your offerings are so unique because it's
Mm.
it's it's your journey. It's what you've alchemized from all your experiences, and I think there's a lot of people at the moment really focused on what's my purpose, and it's like it's your journey.
Your purpose is to be you,
Yeah,
basically.
it's to be. It's not to
We're
look
the
at
sum
somebody
total of
else.
everything that we've ever done.
Yeah, like no one
Yeah.
else could do what you're doing because it's your experience that has led you. And so when people are looking at other people on social media and they're saying, oh, well, they're doing that, I want to do that. It's like it's not necessarily for you. Like
But,
you're,
but people could.
well,
People
they
could do
could,
exactly the same, but it won't ever be exactly the same because each person has an individual frequency and therefore it's a
and their
different
own
thing anyway.
experiences and their own
Yeah.
magic, their own magic and their own unique perspective on the world
Yeah.
to create
You,
their own thing and to share that. I'm only thinking about it because I've got a friend at the moment who's feeling utterly depressed because she keeps looking on social media, and she's done courses with people and they're kind of flying in that direction, and she's not really sure what her purpose is. And I keep saying, well, where have you been?
yeah.
What's
Yeah.
your past? What's your experience? And she came up with an idea the other day and it was just fantastic. And I said, yeah, because that's using your
Your
experiences
skill set as
and
well.
wisdom.
It's your skill set, but as
Yeah,
well as
and
your
then
vision.
merging that with the holistic and making that a new unique thing, and I was
Absolutely.
like, that's bloody brilliant. So it's great when I'm listening to people who are doing these unique things that they've created from their own experience. It's just wonderful to listen to
Well,
your
my
journey.
story of how I did the psychic body painting, if you want to, No,
Yeah.
was literally, I was in Hollywood. I was in Hollywood,
Mm.
and I'd been sent out there, or requested to go out there to meet, by a director that I just worked with, to meet with the Cruz Wagner gang for another film. And while I was there, I reconnected with a girl I'd met a couple of years before that, who said, "Do you want to come over? We're making fairy wings," which I find very hard to say. Fairy wings. I'm not good with my
Fairy
arts.
wing.
Fairy wings, right?
Jonathan
Yeah,
Ross.
yeah, a little bit. So, so they were making fairy wings, these girls, and I didn't know them, but one of them said, "Oh, wouldn't it be great if we knew somebody that could body paint us with these wings on?" I went, "Oh, what, like this?" And showed them my business card, which was a body painted fairy, right?
Mm.
So we went off to the cliff top at Point Dune at dawn, and one of them was spinning fire. I mean, it was a proper California kind of
Yeah,
fire.
it sounds amazing.
One of them was spinning fire, and then we had this artist, like a canvas artist, Vasuli, that was sort of taking photos and using these girls as muses and things. In the end, he ended up painting me because I was the only one not painted. But as I'm painting these girls that I didn't really know, well, I didn't know them at all, really. I knew their names, and I've spent a couple of hours with them. I'm just freehand, because normally with me, I've always got a client telling me exactly what they want me to do. I used to do all those detailed sort of football kits on the page three girls back in the day,
Oh yeah,
you
yeah.
know, all the logos of the three lions and all the detail. And
Right,
it's the
yes.
thing, it's got to be what they want.
Mm.
But doing this in California was very much freehand and intuitive, and I'm painting them. I go, you ever said this, aren't you? Or you ever said that? And they're like, "Oh my God, how do you know that?" I'm like, "I don't know. My brush went that way, and then my brush went that way." Or I thought I was going to use that color, but I felt that color come through, and
Mm.
totally intuitive. And after that, I just thought, well, I'm just got to practice this. And then, I was house sitting in a condo thing with a pool, and I used to go up to the young girls, not young girls, I mean like women, young women, by the pool, and show them my professional credentials so that they knew I was literally a makeup artist kind of thing. But say, "Do you mind if I just experiment with some of this, even just if it's around your neck or whatever?" And I thought, I can't say that I'm saying, they're going to think I'm mad. But the more I learned to trust it, and
Mm.
trust my intuition, and trust that what comes through me for them, and it just sort of, it just evolved. And the when I used to do it at the My Body Spirit in London, at the big expo in London, obviously you can't get people too naked in that scenario, but I used to sort of just do it on the decollage area, and so it would be the same but little tinier doodles, as it were.
Mm.
And there was one girl, for example, probably the best example actually. She'd picked the colors from these colored bottles that I've got, so I can do a reading without having to body paint. I can do a reading without the bottles to either as well, to be honest. I just tune into the field of the person. But back then I was getting them to pick the colors from the bottles, and then using those colors in specific places in the juxtaposition on their body. And there was this little squiggle that was blue, and it didn't look like anything that you would have recognized. But to me, in that moment, just in that moment, Spirit said to me it was a dolphin. And the dolphin, you might think dolphins, Hawaii, maybe that kind of connection. But I said to her, I said, for what it's worth, I really think it would be beneficial to you to focus on the energy of Greece, that bright blue sky and the white buildings, and the dolphins sort of made me think about that. At
Mm.
this point, this woman who I didn't know, she just sat down at my booth for a reading. She burst into tears and said, "Oh, that's why I sat down for a reading. I've been offered a job in Greece and I didn't know whether it was the right thing to do or not." So
Oh wow.
how that happens, I don't
Yeah.
know, but I know it does. And I
Yeah.
know that the more, over 25 years of doing that, the more that you just trust what comes through.
Mm.
And in all aspects, just even if you're in nature and you sort of feel a message from a tree or whatever, just
Mm.
trust what comes through.
Yeah.
Um,
That's a brilliant message and advice for anyone that is just starting to awaken with their intuition.
yeah.
Actually, Trevor Hamlet, that I was talking to
Mm,
yesterday, he's an energy healer, and he was saying the same. At first, he was like, oh, what is this? Am I making it up? Is this my imagination? And we had this whole conversation about, well, what is the imagination? You know,
Mm,
and then it was like both of us were discussing that the more we've done it, the more it's been reinforced one way or another. Like you've just talked of a story where it was reinforced, you know, and I've had it multiple times where it's like, oh, it was reinforced by a doctor, because I'm quite medical intuitive with my clients,
okay, cool.
and then it often gets diagnosed, you know, by the doctors. I'm like, oh, that's true. Then it does work, and so then you trust your intuition in all aspects, then, because you know how it feels when it comes in, and then you just
Yeah.
learn to trust it, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely. And I get a bit into the medical diagnostic side of things when I'm doing the body painting, actually,
Yeah, because once you put your
more
hands
so
on
than if I'm
something,
just sort of doing somebody on the light therapy table that I've got,
yeah,
which is the only one in the country, I might add, because I helped to develop that in California and I've got one in Brownsville. Yeah, sorry, I was looking at that and I got distracted by something else then. The trusting the intuition as it comes through is just so multifaceted as well. There's so much to it, you know.
yeah,
But a lot of people that sometimes I get people that come to me for the light therapy table just purely to help sad symptoms, you know, seasonal
mm,
affective disorder symptoms in
yeah,
winter because bit of light therapy, and they're
mm,
not necessarily all, you know, spiritual guru types, you know,
yeah,
they just came for something that they know is going to help
mm,
them physically, something. And you know, if I'm talking to them about connecting with trees or whatever like this, and they say, "Oh no, I couldn't ever, you know, imagine things." I said, shut your eyes. I said, tell me what your kitchen looks like. Describe your kitchen? And they go, well, and they look around in their mind's eye and they kind of go, well, I've got this here and I've got a couple of jars there and blah, blah. So we can all do it. We can all be elsewhere in that moment simply
mm,
by closing our eyes. So there's a lot that we can do consciously when we close our eyes to connect with anything.
mm.
Just trusting what comes through as an information is the way to do it, really.
And often it's about, Trevor and I were talking about yesterday. Sometimes it's just allowing things to come through and not letting our mind
Yeah, 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 yeah.
way.
Absolutely.
You're not thinking it, you're allowing it to come through.
Well, if I do have a body painting client, and I'm going on about this as if it's something I do every day of the week, it's really not. But over the years,
Maybe
I've
it's
done a
something
lot.
that you should be doing more of, if this
Maybe
is
it is something I should be doing
this is
more. But
coming through, isn't it?
yeah, yeah. But when I sit down opposite somebody, it's a privilege because you know they're already open and I won't say vulnerable, but you know they're being vulnerable enough to be there
Mm,
with their skin out, as it were. I
yeah.
just you know only waist up. They wear
Mm,
tracky bottoms or whatever, so it's just waist up. So they're already there. So it's already a sacred space. But the way that I can do it properly is by kind of I can't describe exactly how I do it, but I basically get Amber out the way. Amber,
yes.
Amber
Yeah.
kind of goes parked over there, and then I sort of literally consciously sort of flip my lid and
Mm,
let it all pour through, and it's as simple as that, you know. I
yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
a bit like in the way when I do my Metatronic healing, which is channeling different coloured rays as opposed to Reiki's more symbols and things. This is more rays. Um, it's that sort of conscious opening. But
Mm,
Amber, when I'm giving information, uh, as opposed to when it's non-verbal, when I'm actually giving feedback to a person, information, then yeah, I have to get me out the way. And I
mm,
see the medical side of it. I see it sometimes as sort of a lack of color. It's not like I would describe it as
yeah.
grey or black or anything. It
Mm,
is like a lack of vibrancy, a lack of
yes. Yeah,
radiance.
yeah, yeah. And I don't, when you're talking about it, I know exactly what you mean, and I
Yeah,
don't even know how I see it.
yeah,
Do you know
because
what I mean? I
it's
can't
almost
even
like
tell
there's
you how I
nothing to
see it, but I
see.
do. And I
Yeah,
see it in people that are walking down the street, that I'm passing in the street.
yeah.
I see it with people. I can be with people and know what health issues they've got, whether they've got toxic blood or
Mm,
lymphatic system or you know, and but I don't even know how I'm seeing that. But exactly what you just said, it's like a lack of color.
Yeah,
But
in a
I'm
certain
I'm
area.
not seeing that as a visual color. I'm seeing it.
It's like a dullness, I guess. A
Yes, it's a
dullness, I would describe
dullness.
it as. And
Yeah.
the like one lady years ago in London, the sort of doodle, if you will, as I'm doing this body painting, the doodle was all these sort of, it looked like little seeds in her abdomen, sort of little seeds falling, and all these sprouting seeds and things. And I was like, I don't know why. I said, I'm going to have to come back to that because I'm not quite sure. I know they're seeds, but they're not growing, they're not sprouting, something's happening. And she looked at me quite calmly and she said, well, if it's down there, maybe you're picking up on the fact that I've had 6 miscarriages. And I went,
Oh,
okay. So, it
yes.
doesn't, it's not, and that doesn't benefit her in as much as it doesn't benefit her for me to know that. But on
Mm.
the other hand, the fact that I picked up on that gives her confirmation so that when I'm saying the rest
And
of
it
it,
also gives you that
plays
reinforcement
in.
that you're talking about that,
Yeah,
okay,
me,
so what
but
I'm
but
seeing
more
is,
so for her, yeah.
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 Mm. Because
But
I'll
that was
see,
kind of it.
I'll sometimes see it like that in a visual, but I also get like whole sentences just land in. And I'm not a very auditory person, like I'm very visual and feely, so
Yeah.
often I'll feel into it and I'll just know through my feeling, or I'll visualize, but I have full sentences just
Yeah.
land in, and I
If you
think,
don't convey
where
them, they
did
just
that
get louder and louder and louder.
yeah, and you're like, where did that come from? And it's like,
Yeah,
oh, I
I'm
think it's this
clairaudient
that's
like
good.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's hilarious, isn't it?
Yeah.
I
But
actually
the,
had
but the beauty of the body painting side of it is if there is an area like that, yes, she's already had these miscarriages, she can't not have them, but I
mm,
can then go in and I can put some pinks of love and some golds and really dissipate that
yeah,
energy. And,
yeah,
like a girl that had a cracked rib that I picked up on 5 years beforehand, she'd had a cracked rib, but she said whenever she gets stressed, it pangs a bit. It's kind of like a weak spot type thing.
mm,
So I'm going in and I'm putting some silver and dissipating that and just,
mm,
you get what I'm doing.
yeah,
Yeah, so I can repaint the harmony. So I often do it as a reading. They see
yeah,
who they are, and then I add the colours in to create the full spectrum so
yeah,
that they're fully full spectrum, and not that they ever weren't, but
yeah.
so that they can visually accept that they are fully full spectrum and it's all in alignment and balanced.
Mm,
Oh,
I
look,
love
there's
it.
a little
I
flower.
know. So they're flying around me. It's hilarious, really. What they keep
It's
like.
all the flowers behind you. They think they keep
Yeah.
landing on the flowers in your room.
It might have something to do with the rabbit's foot that's on from the cat left a rabbit's foot, but I'm seeing
Oh,
that as TikTok.
literally a rabbit. Oh,
The
okay.
cat left a rabbit foot on my doorstep. But yeah, so how did you so you went into working as a makeup artist? Did you do that from school? Like when did the holistic
Yeah.
side come in for you?
Well, I think simultaneously, in a way, I've got a diary from when I was 11 years old saying I want to be a BBC makeup artist when I grow up. So in
Oh,
a
brilliant.
way, it was easy
Yeah.
because I did the right O levels, I did the right A levels, I went to the London College of Fashion, and there wasn't a degree in makeup back then, but it was a HND. So that path was easy, and then I got into doing wigs at Phantom of the Opera, which I hated wigs, but I kind of had, well, I didn't have to do it, but I thought, well, I could either work in the industry and theatre while I was still at college, or I can work in a bar. I might as well work in theatre. So and from doing the wigs, I then got asked to do the prosthetics, and then from doing the prosthetics for the Phantom, never full time, just as a swing kind of thing. I
Yeah.
got to do Phantom in Hong Kong, which was amazing. And then from doing the prosthetics, as I said, for the Phantom, then when they were crewing for Kenneth Branagh's Frankenstein, which was at the time the biggest prosthetic department that had ever been created, they called me in to be interviewed, and I was basically assisting doing De Niro's acting double. Although I did do De Niro's makeup trials as Daniel's assistant as well. So yeah, kind of in at the deep end with that side of it, and then it's just
Mm.
carried on and carried on. And
It's an amazing career, isn't it? Getting
well,
to do
yeah, and I
that.
did do Beetlejuice actually. That was my
Oh,
most recent
wow.
one. I did Willem
Yeah.
Dafoe again because he's the one that I was nominated for and with, because he was nominated at the same time, which was in
Oh, wow.
2001. So that was a long time ago. But yeah,
Hmm.
got to work with him again, and we've always sort of stayed in touch. Anyway, he's a really cool guy.
Yeah.
But so the way the sort of holistic always wove into it, if I was doing prosthetics, I didn't have a choice in the products I would be using necessarily. But if I was doing anything beauty wise, all my beauty kit was natural, organic as much as it could be, good stuff. And if I
Yeah.
had an actor that had a headache or something, I wouldn't reach for the pills. I'd just do a few pressure points. I knew a bit of, like Bart Flower remedies or
Mm.
shiatsu, pressure points, whatever. Just, I've always sort of done the both, but I think really it's growing up in Burley. I'm a bit of a witch.
Oh yeah, because it's all
Bit of a
very,
little witch.
yeah. I've
and
actually got a new
and
client there,
yeah,
and you can just
and
feel the energy when you're driving around. You're like, this is so, there's
yeah, but
definitely
being in the
fairies live
forest,
here.
growing up in the forest,
Yeah.
before I went to London, I went to London at 18 and then I came back to the forest at, I don't know, 46, something like that.
Right.
And yeah, just being in the forest and being in nature.
Mm.
Mum's always been very sort of natural, holistic, but hello, fly. But yeah, it's just always been a side by side thing, really. And I've had periods in my life where I've focused on the makeup side of it more. I mean, I was the head makeup artist for the opening and closing ceremonies of the Olympics, London 2012.
Wow.
That was a big gig. That was a huge
You've
gig.
got such an amazing portfolio, haven't you?
Well, yeah, but then I moved out of London just shortly after that. Kind of, up to here in a way.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
last film previous to that was X-Men, so I was doing Jennifer Lawrence and in LA doing that as well as in London, whatever. Then
Mm.
did the Olympics, then moved out, and then came back down here. And people were saying, "Oh, what do you do?" And I didn't really want to say I'm a makeup artist. I wanted to sort of start afresh on just the holistic side, but
Right.
I still kept being asked to do makeup. So I was
Mm.
still doing makeup and I was up and down, and I still do. I do stuff for the Daily Mail or whatever,
Mm.
you know. But the thing I would love to get more into doing, not just the psychic body painting type color artwork type thing, is things like really using the skills, like you were saying about a friend that sort of was that before we were recording? I'm not sure. You were saying you had a friend that was trying to sort of tap into what she should do, and like we agreed that you are the sum total of everything you've ever done. So
Yeah.
just using your skill sets and everything. So
Mm.
what I'd quite like to do, and this is the first person I've told about this, so you're getting a little exclusive.
Love it.
um, is actually use my prosthetic skills to do aging makeups to face the crone, because there's so many women, particularly of my age, that look in the mirror and just go oh, and oh like this.
I'm
But if
starting
I
to do. I've
actually,
started lifting. I've started lifting my skin in the mirror. Like I remember my mum doing that because it's like,
well, yeah,
what's happening?
I
What's
know, and we're
happening?
not we're not ever
Yeah.
going to look 20 again. However,
No.
there's nothing wrong with a little bit of outer enhancement
And
to make
actually,
me
I
feel
also,
better.
well, I don't want to look 20 because I'm far too wise for people to think I'm
Exactly,
20.
exactly.
And I'm really happy with that. And I'm a grandmother of two, and I
Yeah,
have my children, and I've got a lot of wisdom in here. And I'm fine to express that on physically, but it is, and I'm someone who's very happy to age. I feel like it's a gift,
yeah.
and I actually was at a family event recently. It was my mum's birthday, and all my aunties were there, and they're all in their like 60s, 70s, coming up to 80. And I said, actually, look at you all. Like, I'm not afraid to age because you
Yeah.
all look fabulous.
Well, you've got good
Like,
cheekbones actually, so you're not going to age that much.
oh, okay, that's good, darling. Thank you. So, but I look at my mum, and although she's got aged skin, she's still beautiful. She's got
Oh
lovely
yeah,
blue
absolutely.
eyes, and I really do think it's just the way you do your hair,
Well,
the
it's how
shape
you
of your hair,
radiate. It goes
how
back to
you
what we were
radiate.
first saying. It
Yeah,
goes back to what we were first saying about embodying that light. If you
yes,
can get these cells to function, I mean, the biophotons are measured as ultra weak coherent light. So if you can actually have coherence in the light that is within you through
Mm,
meditation, through visualization, whatever, then that light has the capacity to shine even more, let alone
mm,
attitude and positive thinking, blah blah blah, all that.
yeah.
It's literally, you are literally shining. And that's what they say, you know, you get people walking into the room and they go, oh, they've got star quality.
Mm,
I can tell you, not a lot of actors will feel that,
mm.
because I know, because I'm the one picking the gunk out their eyes at 3 in the morning, you know, whatever. I know what they feel, right?
Yeah.
But
You've
but
got all that
but
inside information of actually
100%.
and it's such valuable information that you've picked up because
Yeah.
you know us normal people that haven't been in that world, we look at it like this glamorous, we all aspire to look like that. You know, young girls now are looking at pop stars and wanting to fill their
Yeah,
face
but
and
they've been
thinking,
2 hours in a makeup chair, you know, the pop
yeah, and
star
they don't,
types, you
yeah,
know,
and
with
they,
the full on, or if you're Jennifer Lopez or what, you know,
yeah,
it's not
it's a lot of work.
natural.
No, I
It
think
is the true word of uh is maya, it's illusion.
mm,
Glamour, the word glamour itself means illusion,
mm.
really. So I'm
And
very much
it's like you
about
said, it's an art form,
authenticity.
isn't it? Like you're
Yeah.
a creative, and your art form is presenting this person as this
Yeah, and
theatrical,
it's all very good to be presenting as your best. I mean,
yeah,
personally, you know, myself, anybody really, I think if you're spending more than about 3 minutes on your makeup, you're faffing. But
yeah,
those 3 minutes can make you feel better.
yeah,
And you don't have to. I don't always wear makeup, but
no,
I know when I put a little bit on, 3 minutes worth, I just feel a little bit better. But what I
mm,
want to do with this facing the crone thing is actually do an aging makeup on yourself, for example,
mm,
really push it as far as your skin can go, because there's all
mm,
sorts of things you can do with you know, you don't have to create prosthetic beforehand. There's things that you can do in the moment with liquid latex and old age stipple and things to really really make you look as old as I could. So I could maybe get you to sort of 75 in your case, but you know, some people I
right,
might be able to push to 80. Then you look in the mirror and you see yourself like that and you go, oh, when you
yeah,
take it off you're going to go, oh my god, how youthful am I? Oh,
yeah,
oh, I feel so
brilliant.
good. I feel so good. So that then, you know, if you're lucky enough to get to 85, if we any of us are lucky enough to be that old, by the
Mm,
time you get there, the wisdom will be there, and you just look in the mirror and you know that you're beautiful anyway. But there are
mm,
so many women that can't see it yet.
mm,
And one of the things that my sort of main signature visualization is is to well, I won't say it because I'm going to do it at Elevate, but you've got to come and see it. But it is basically to enhance yourself, how you shine.
mm.
So you kind of, you know how you shine, and then you open your eyes and you look around the rest of the audience and you kind of go, well, if I look like this, they must look. And what I would love is people to just, without having to do my process, to just look at each other and just go, wow, you know, I can see the light, I can see them shining, I can
Ah.
see the beauty in them, no matter what, no matter what.
Yeah, because actually, I've always had this ability to see the light in people,
Yeah.
to see the soul. And to me, beauty means, to me, beauty is in the soul.
Hmm.
It's not about what they look like on the outside. And I know people that actually aren't very physically in the category of beauty of what we see beauty as on the outside, but their soul is so beautiful that they radiate beauty.
Yeah, it
and
is.
and,
It's
and, and
literally shining
equally
light.
and equally the other way around, you can have someone who's completely physically the form of what we perceive beauty to be in the media, but then they can have quite an ugly soul.
Yeah.
Not an ugly soul, but there's too many.
Well,
Everyone's got an ugly soul, but there's a lot of shadows in the way, you know.
there's a lot of dimming down of the light.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
then you
yeah.
think so it doesn't matter because actually they look ugly because they're not radiating this beautiful soul, you know.
Whereas you can get sort of a really, really, you know, really old lady sat on a cafe
Yeah,
thing in
with a
Greece
big
or something. She's like
smile and
really, really wrinkly, but if
yeah,
she smiles, she's beautiful.
just radiating
Beautiful.
beauty.
Yeah.
Yes. yeah, and that's the kind of old lady that I envisage I want to be. You
Yeah.
know?
And also, you know,
Yeah.
going back to the trees again, and I think I do a lot of work with trees and have done over the years, and you know, even just photographs of the limelight coming through the leaves on the trees in the spring
Mm.
just totally lights me up. But coming back to the trees, you'd never look at an oak tree and go, "Oh, that's a bit knobbly and wrinkly.
Yeah, look how
That's not very
gnarly
pretty.
that
That's
old
not nice, is
tree
it?"
is. Yeah.
Would you? You know, a
No.
tree is has the
You say, look how
we're
old
allowing the
and wise
tree,
and
yeah,
aged it is, and oh, it
how
must
old
see so
and
much,
what
and
depth and you know all of this sort of wisdom that's held within a tree. And if
yeah,
only we could look at ourselves like that and not worry
yeah.
about lines and things, which are,
Mm.
as you said, it's a an indication of where you've been and how you are. I mean, you know,
Mm.
I have I have a nice big what I would like to call concentration line here rather
I
than
have
a
one
round
of those
line.
as well. I've
Yeah,
definitely
well,
I've
when you
inherited it
do
from my dad.
when you do 5 hours of prosthetics a day for months on end, sometimes
Yes.
you know it gets ingrained. But anyway,
Yeah.
you've got to embrace these things and not worry about it. And the more light you can shine, and the more you can consciously embody light,
I
then
think
the more
it's
you are
just
going to radiate and
I
shine.
think it's just brilliant. And it's funny because the only thing I think it's when we're looking for mates, I think that's when we want to look, because I've only noticed that I've suddenly got into the bracket that isn't the young baby ready age, you
Yeah.
know. So men that were once looking at me aren't looking at me anymore, you know, like I'm noticing that I'm not the first port of call now for men's gaze.
Yeah, well, I would have
And
thought
so
they probably are more than you realize,
well,
actually.
maybe,
Guys.
but as a
But
single woman, that's the thing that gets me. I'm like, oh, am I
it's an
attracted to
identity
men?
shift, though, isn't it? You know,
Yeah,
we're no longer the maiden. We've done
that's
the
it.
mother.
It's that
And I
transition.
don't want to be a crone. I'm not ready for being crone.
No,
I'll do these makeups to make people realize that they're not what they think they
yeah.
are. But there's a huge gap in between, and that gap is what I call the queen phase. There's a
Mm,
queen phase. You're stepping into your queen time, and it's
yeah,
about owning that personal sovereignty and still shining because you
yeah,
will attract who you're meant to attract. But
yes,
you
yeah.
know that queen vibe, if you
I'm
will.
not even sure that I want to attract anybody.
Well, that's another matter.
But it's just that transition
Yeah,
from that to
yeah,
this.
yeah,
I'm just witnessing it on the
yeah.
fence. It's like, oh, this is interesting.
Well, and there
You
is a
know,
bit of grief that comes with that
it
too. You know,
is
literally
because
grief. You
yes,
kind of think, oh, oh, am I completely invisible now? Oh,
yeah.
hmm, how do I feel about that? But
But the
yeah,
cars no longer beep on the way past and that kind of
I
thing.
know.
And I'm like, it's quite, I didn't like it when it used to happen. I used to think, oh, go away. But now I'm like, oh, no one really beeps anymore.
Honk, honk, I'll be back.
That kind of thing, you know.
Yeah.
With my yeah. Anyway, I'm really looking forward to your workshop. I think it's going to be really enlightening.
You and lightning are yes. Well, yeah, and you know, it will be experiential. I'll explain some things, but it will be, you know, active as well. There's some things to
Mm,
do, some guided visualizations to do. And
yeah,
if somebody, even if one person can come out feeling more beautiful than they went in, then I've done my job.
yeah. Oh, and what you know, it's such a gift. It's such a gift.
I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, I'm
So,
really looking forward to seeing you in just a few days.
yeah,
And
big hug.
thank you for speaking with me today. And I'll
Yeah,
see you
my
at
pleasure.
the
My pleasure.
where can people find you?
Ambersibley.com.
Yeah, and
That's
all
the
your
easiest
offerings
way.
are on there, aren't they? And I'll put it
I
up.
don't have an email address on there actually. I'm rubbish at email. I'm much better if you want to just text me and connect. So yeah,
There
but
is actually a
Amber's
contact form on your email,
there is. So yeah, people can.
on your website. Sorry, there's a contact form. So yeah, I know that because I messaged you on there today.
Yeah, but because I'm rubbish at email, I didn't see
Oh,
it.
okay. All right. Fair enough.
Some people check their email first thing in the morning. It's not me. I just, you know, I do it when I have to. I think actually it's because that comes from way back when I got the Oscar nomination. I was inundated by so many people sort of wanting to come and carry my brushes and whatever, that I just got, oh, I was a bit overwhelmed with so many emails. And also the Olympics, you know, that there were over 8,000 people in that first show. If they would all email me with a question, it just wasn't possible. So I had to get out there in the stadium with a microphone while they were sat there for their rehearsals and things, and hold up big posters of what I wanted to happen and what I wanted them to do. And if you got this red lipstick, I would wave my leg around in the air with red trousers on, or whatever, you know, because it was just impossible to have that many emails going back and forth. So,
Well, I think it's hard enough
but yeah,
as a
there's
festival,
my
but that
website,
sounds
and
more.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'll put your website in the description below.
Thank you very much. Take
Thank
care,
you,
Helen.
Amber.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye.